this vehicle actually they replaced the battery and the alternator somewhere else, but that didn't fix it. So as you can see, a new alternator was installed. They probably thought that the issue was the alternator and threw an alternator at it and didn't fix it. So that's why we need to properly diagnose and get to the root cause and actually test. Alright guys, welcome back to Disciple Diagnostics. Today I have one that I think there is a good lesson that we all can learn from and some fundamentals we can reflect. So let's go. So the customer concern on this one is that basically the charging system light will come on. So let's see if we can verify it. Right now it's not coming on. So look, with the alternator running, the battery voltage is dropping to 7 volts. I don't know how this thing is even running, but we're getting a bunch of lights on. So we got only 7 volts at the battery terminals. We need to determine why the charging system is not charging the battery, why the alternator is not charging. So I got also my meter hooked up. We got the 7 volts. So let's go and test directly at the alternator post and see what we got. What's coming out, we're getting only 3 volts. So that difference compared to what we getting right at the battery terminal is definitely a red flag, kind of like an indication of possibly a voltage drop. So let me turn this so the battery doesn't get completely discharged. So again, we only got 3 volts coming from the alternator. So I'm gonna start by moving my negative terminal from my meter to the positive terminal of the battery, so I can do a voltage drop across the positive terminal. And look, 7 volts. That's definitely a voltage drop, a massive voltage drop across the terminal, and definitely not good. But now I want to show you guys the importance of loading the circuit when performing any electrical test. So see, we only got 3 volts coming from the alternator, right? But let's do something. If I come over here and turn off the engine, thus turning on the alternator, let's see what happens. Let me show you. So I had to connect my battery maintainer because the battery was totally dying. And look, we getting 13 volts, and I'm getting the 13 volts from the alternator terminal, and that could make you think that the feed is good, but let me show you. So here's the thing. Remember, initially we suspected we had a voltage drop across the positive terminal. So let's do something. Again, the negative terminal meter, the lead, negative lead, and the positive I have it right at the alternator post, but it's giving them 13 volts. So is it good? Even though we saw a voltage drop. So let's do something. I have the positive, the test light connected to ground. We put it to positive and we're getting, it lights up, but when we go over here, it doesn't. And look, it drops to 0. So if I raise it, it goes back to 13. If I put it down, it doesn't light up and it goes back to 0. So this, in a situation like this, it's a clear indication that there is a huge voltage drop. across that terminal. You see it when you load the circuit. So that's why even though you're getting 13 volt battery voltage, you always need to load the circuit, because that will confirm the integrity of the circuit. It will confirm if it is actually good or not. So now what we need to find is why we get having this voltage drop. So let's look at the wiring diagram. Let's show you what I found. We have this, the battery. We have this fusible link. We have the battery, the alternator. Here's the feed. We're getting we did a voltage drop from here to here, and we got a huge drop. So the next step, I decided to go here to the directly at the fusible link. So I went, and it showed me that it's located at the battery terminal. So I went back here, I removed the covers, these covers right here, and look, got battery voltage here, got battery voltage here, 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 here. Oh, I'm not making good connection. There, there, there. We got here, but look what happened here. I'm not getting anything. If I press on it, I do. But if I move this cable, let me show you. If I press up, move it up, look. So this is what's going on. This cable is loose. So that's why we're getting that huge voltage drop. So let's fix it. So let's go ahead now and start it. And something I forgot to mention is that this vehicle actually they replaced the battery and the alternator somewhere else, but that didn't fix it. Let me show you. So as you can see, a new alternator was installed. They probably thought that the issue was the alternator and threw an alternator at it and didn't fix it. So that's why we need to properly diagnose and get to the root cause and actually test. So I'm gonna turn a few loads on. So let's see now, what are we getting? We're getting 13 volts. Wait, hold on, let me turn off the battery maintainer. So we're getting 13.68 volts. That's kind of what we should be expecting on this. So the alternator is charging. We no longer have an issue. It doesn't drop at all, it stays steady. So that's it, guys. This right here was our issue. The cable loose was the root cause of the problem. So what's the takeaway? Test. Perform a proper voltage drop and load a circuit before condemning a part. That will save you from a lot of troubles. So I see you guys on the next one, and I hope you like it.